everybody, and welcome to a brand new vlog. So today we're actually going to be mowing our first field this year, so that's kind of exciting. I kind of just wanted to show you guys how we make hay up here in the north. It's June 1st right now, it's Wednesday. Usually we would start maybe later May. This is a little late, but we didn't really have much rain, so the grass wasn't really growing that great. So we're getting started a little bit later, but that doesn't really matter anyway. My boss just left. That's strange. Anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna be mowing, and hopefully we'll be able to get it in 2 days. There's only a 2-day nice stretch of weather. In order to make dry hay when it's like this, because right now it's probably 60 degrees, it's supposed to only be 70. It's very humid. You can probably tell by my hair. Not that it ever looks good, but it looks worse than it usually does. So this year we're going to be mowing with the Massey. Usually we mow with the International the last few years. It's been the International. A couple years before that it was the Kubota. But I haven't mowed with the Massey since the very first year I worked here, so that would be 5 years ago. So I'm going to be rusty, so please excuse me if there's some streaks and just looks like I'm doing a bad job overall. It's been a minute. So it's really hard to make dry hay in Maine in early June or late May. Usually our dry hay season is more second crop. First crop, we hardly ever get any dry hay. So we wrap it. So if you don't know what that is, that's instead of drying the hay out really well, you would mow it and then you would tether it like probably only one time, and then you would rake it up and you would bale it slightly wet. And what that does is you'll bale it and then you'll put it on a wrapper. Maybe you've seen some bales out in fields that are covered in some white film. They look like giant marshmallows. That's baleage, and that's mostly what we feed here because Maine just really doesn't have the kind of weather you need to make dry hay. So at the most we'll make 300 dry bales out of our 1,000 altogether. Most of it is wrapped, just because it's so much easier for us to get it done really fast. So yeah, maybe I'll show you guys how we wrap. That's pretty interesting. I always think it's cool. Our machine's pretty old, so it's got like 1,000 levers. But my boss runs it. Sometimes he lets me run it. But yeah, so mostly we just feed that fermented baleage. I think you have to leave it for 20 days before you can feed it out when you wrap it in the film. So, but the cows really love it. It's really their favorite kind of feed, which is good because we don't really have any other options. But so right now I'm bedding the barn. I've got that half done. Now I'm just working on this half. But obviously I'm goofing around talking to you guys. Also, the barn cleaner chain is running. I probably ought to go shut it off. It goes all the way around the barn, so you'll see. And then it comes back around, goes into a pump house up over there on that side, and it pumps it through underground all the way over to that manure pit over there. So that's pretty convenient. We don't have to do anything but hoe out the stalls and run the cleaner, and boom, done. So I'll finish bedding them, and my boss was going to sharpen the mowing machine, but like I said, he just drove away. He was also supposed to be making me breakfast, so I hope he comes back. So yeah, we also run some water into it just to make sure it doesn't plug up or anything. So this is the pump house. Now I usually just wait for that handle to come all the way back up before I'll shut it off right here. And done. So I'll finish bedding them, and we'll get mowing after my boss sharpens the mowing machine. So usually we will like put new knives on at the start of the season, but last year we had a little incident where the mowing machine fell on a ledge knoll and broke all the knives off and a couple of discs, and it was just a huge mess. So we put new knives on then, and that was pretty late in the season. So we're just gonna try to mow with these ones. He's gonna sharpen them with a grinder? Yeah, a grinder. And then I'm gonna fuel it up and we're gonna head right out. So I might not be able to talk to you much because, as I said, we're mowing with the Massey, and the Massey's an open cab tractor because here in the north there's really not that big of a need for a cab tractor. You don't really need air conditioning, but like 1 month out of the year. Mostly you would use it for heating, honestly. So we only have the one cab tractor, but our setup this year is going to be the Massey on the mowing machine, the International, the 1066 on the baler, and then the Kubota will wrap and rake and tether. The things that are easy to unhook we'll do with the Kubota. So yeah, also we're mowing with a, if you're interested, we're mowing with a Kuhn 302. It's an 11-foot mower. It's a 2004. It's actually exactly the same year as the Massey. And they're pretty close to the same color, so it actually looks pretty nice hooked up together, I think. But yeah, so we'll get into that. I've got to finish bedding. But yeah, I kind of wanted to keep this like an upbeat video, but honestly, today's been a pretty bad day. Last Saturday, I believe, today's Wednesday. Last Saturday, a part on the milk tank broke, and the paddles that turn the milk so that you can cool it don't work anymore. Hang on a second, I'll show you. So this tank is a 1969 Zero. They don't use it, they don't make them anymore, but I guess back in the 60s and 70s they were like the Cadillacs of the milk tanks. People that have them still say they cool better than the new Muellers. But yeah, so what happened was there's like a rheostat or a variable transformer that runs these two DC motors, and you can adjust it so that they'll spin a certain speed. So when we're milking, you usually want them to spin like that. And you know, you have to turn it up and down depending on how much milk is in there. But the problem comes in when you wash the tank. When you wash the tank, these spin backwards like 1,000 miles an hour. Like you can't even see that thing when it's spinning backwards. And it's somewhere in there when it's washing, it is shorting something out and blowing up the rheostat, which is kind of a problem. So we've gone through 5 of them, or this is the 5th one, I think, that we just ordered. It's supposed to come tomorrow, but we've been without it for, what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's the 5th day that we've been without it. So that's a pain in the butt. You have to get like one person here and one person there and just spin them. Pain in the rear end. So that takes about an hour every milking. When you're done, you have to churn milk for an hour. So my arms are killing me. Excuse the crap. My arms are killing me, and I'm really just kind of depressed, so sorry if this is kind of a downer, but this is the way farming is. This is real life farming. So I figured I would show you guys the good and the bad and everything. So I'm going to finish bedding, and then we'll head out and see if my boss is done sharpening the mower, and we'll fuel up, and then we'll get going. But I also have to feed the baby. So after I do all of that stuff, I will get to mowing. So there's the Massey, the mowing machine. Okay, so, yep, he actually did sharpen them. Okay, so we should be good to go. Get it fueled up, and we should be good to start mowing.